All right, this is a 1985 Honda Shadow VT700C bobber. I started with a completely stock Shadow and made it into this here. There's no welding, everything is cut, bolted, clamped, simple, easy to do. Somebody asked me if I could make a video describing what I did for the relay to compensate for the LED turn signals, so I didn't get the fast flash. I figured I would just make an entire video in case somebody gets an idea and wants to use it on theirs, and ask a question down below in the comments and I'll answer and all that. I didn't practice this, so if I or stutter or anything, I apologize. So I did start with a completely stock motorcycle. Start with the front. First thing I wanted was an amber headlight. I wanted the European look with a rock guard. eBay at the time did not have a amber headlight with a rock guard. You had to get a clear with a rock guard and then an amber without, and then put the two together. They're only like $20-something a piece, so I have 50 maybe total in the headlight. It clamps to the bars, the front forks. It's just a simple clamp there. The turn signals clamp into the sides of that. And speaking of which, I will show you the turn signals. Those are LEDs. They do not have the fast flash. Also, the LED brake light. I will show you what I did for the relay. Under this cover, on, I guess it would be the driver's side. Underneath that, you have the battery, and then you have this relay right here. I bought this off of eBay. It's probably like $7 or $8. But what it is the part number, I don't know if you can see it or not, is LF1-S-pin, max 150 watt. This box and this wire are all one piece. This clamps into the factory relay, or the factory wire that would plug into the factory relay. And there you go. I don't have the factory relay. I actually have like a dozen, because every time I get a new motorcycle that has bulbs and I want to switch over to LEDs, I usually go through 2 or 3 LEDs trying to figure out which one's going to actually work. Some of them don't turn the signals on. Some of them, it's just different every time, it seems. The forks, I did not cut down. Those are factory. I didn't change the springs or anything. I was worried a little bit about the stance. I was worried that it might stand up a little too tall in the front once I dropped the rear end. And that was part of the decision to do the exhaust that way. I actually wanted the exhaust like that, and then I angled them up kind of to offset the angle of the entire frame. The exhaust I got custom bent from a guy in Wisconsin. It was a muffler shop. Nobody around here had a mandrel bender. And he said, there's going to be a little kink in there. And I said, that's okay, because I'm going to hide it with header wrap, and it's not going to be any restriction, especially considering the stock exhaust and how restrictive it is. The rest of the factory chrome is still in place. And I don't think I cut it off at all. I think I just unbolted the exhaust and pulled it off. Installed the factory pipe, or installed those pipes. Painted the tips black, wrapped them black, and it's really loud. You can actually hear it on the other video that I made. The horns they used to be up here underneath the headlight. I pulled them off, and now you can see them on either side, and they're really loud. Let me hit that right quick. Jeez, it's disturbing, especially in the garage. Those I did. I drilled into the frame just to get 2 mounting points. Those were eBay. That was probably $12 for the pair. Let me think. I kept all the factory gauges up here. I would like to have relocated them, but I wanted to retain all the factory lights on the dash. And so I didn't relocate the gauges. They still light up and everything. The seat is another eBay, my best friend. It mounts in the factory bolt, and then I scooted that back, and then I actually drilled holes. Let me get that flashlight again. I drilled 2 holes in the frame. I don't know if this will sit here or not, so I can. There. A friend of mine had the idea to do the Red Bull can to house all the wiring. These are the spark boxes, and I think they were somewhere back here underneath the seat. And those are just double stick tape and Velcro. They've never moved. I actually put a little block of wood there and I double stick taped it down too, just to keep them in place. Drilled holes in the frame, ran bolts through there so that would give it a good perch. The brake light is a fisheye brake light, really bright and great visibility. And also, let me turn the turn signal on. So you can see from the back, nothing is blocked. Actually, that turn signal on the right side, you can see too. Do that. So a car behind you is going to be able to see everything you're doing. Now, turn the key off. One of the biggest ideas that I had was the fender. This is just a steel fender. It is from Panic Cycles. It took a little bit of measuring. I actually have another fender over there that didn't work. I think this one was maybe 70-something dollars. The other one was like 40. But what I wanted was like just as close as I could get without rubbing. Like I can get a finger up there. This is as close as I can get. And it doesn't rub, it doesn't scrape, and it is tucked in really tight. And the stock shocks are right there. What I did was, there's a company called Steinjager that makes Jeep off-road parts. These are connecting links off of a Jeep. And if I remember right, these are 5/8 inch diameter on each side, and I think the tubes are 7 inch long. I don't remember the threads here. I could probably go back and look if somebody has a question about that. That's the battery tender. The turn signal is actually bolted into existing holes. I tried to use existing holes where I could. But this actually would allow you to, if it would turn, my hands are cold. But I got that down as close as I could. So I had just as minimal clearance as I could without rubbing the tire. And then I just made these out of thick steel just from Ace Hardware. And I think that's mostly it. Did the mirror right there, underslung. I actually can see better. There's the clamps right there. It was just a spare mirror I had. I had a bunch of them off of eBay and they're cheap. But I can actually see better because otherwise, when they were mounted up here on top, I was looking at my shoulders and not behind me. Down there, I can look under my arm past my side. I think that's about it. And yeah, it is the redneck bike. Because everything is half rednecked, but Everything was well thought out, well planned, and it turned out exactly like I liked it. It is really bouncy on the road. I'm not going to kid you. The spring solo seat does some. I got really stiff springs because I did not want to squash the electronics underneath it. I believe that's it. If you want to hear it run, see my other video. If you have questions, ask them below. I answer. And thank you for watching.